No one at the beachside wedding understood why the billionaire bride's sister had invited a quiet single dad in a worn navy suit. He stood out among the polished guests, designer dresses, and luxury cars. But when the groom suddenly froze at the altar, turned pale, and said one shocking word, "Boss," everything changed. In that moment, whispers swept through the crowd, hearts skipped, and a hidden story of kindness, sacrifice, and loyalty was finally about to be revealed. Before we continue, if you love real-life stories that remind us how kindness can change destinies, make sure to subscribe, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments. You're watching Kindness Diaries, where simple acts of kindness create powerful stories. The single dad's name was Daniel Carter. He was 39, soft-spoken, and the kind of man people often overlooked. For the past 8 years, his entire world revolved around his young son, Noah. After losing his wife to illness, Daniel worked long hours, took night shifts, and skipped meals so his son could have a better life. Daniel once had big dreams. He studied business, had leadership skills, and a sharp mind. But life hit him hard. Bills piled up. Opportunities slipped away. He took whatever work he could find, including a low-profile consulting role at a struggling logistics startup. That startup belonged to a woman named Evelyn Monroe. Evelyn was now one of the most powerful businesswomen in America, a self-made billionaire known for her sharp decisions and quiet generosity. But years ago, when her company was on the edge of collapse, she was desperate, stressed, and running out of hope. Daniel was hired on a short-term contract. No fancy title. No spotlight. Just a man with a notebook, a tired smile, and honest advice. Instead of trying to impress anyone, Daniel listened. He stayed late. He fixed systems no one else wanted to touch. He treated junior employees with respect and protected them from unfair blame. When payroll was almost missed 1 month, Daniel quietly offered to delay his own payment so the staff could be paid first. Within months, Daniel helped stabilize the company. He never asked for recognition. When Evelyn tried to promote him, Daniel declined, saying he needed flexible hours to take care of his son. Evelyn respected that choice. She insisted he stay on as a senior advisor, privately. Over time, Daniel became the backbone of the company. People followed his advice. Executives trusted him. Even Evelyn, the billionaire CEO, often said, "If Daniel thinks it's right, we do it." But Daniel never changed. He still drove an old car. He still packed his own lunch. He still picked up his son from school every day. Years later, Evelyn invited Daniel to her sister Claire's wedding. Daniel was confused. He tried to refuse. He didn't feel like he belonged in that world. Evelyn smiled and said, "You belong more than you know." So there Daniel stood, holding Noah's small hand, surrounded by ocean waves and strangers in expensive clothes. People stared. Some judged. Some whispered. Then the ceremony began. The groom stepped forward. His name was Andrew Whitmore, a rising executive known for his confidence and ambition. As Andrew lifted his eyes toward the guests, his gaze locked onto Daniel. Andrew's smile vanished. His hands trembled. The crowd noticed the pause, the silence stretching longer than it should. Then Andrew swallowed hard and said, loud enough for the front rows to hear, "Boss." Gasps rippled through the guests. Claire turned, confused. Evelyn raised an eyebrow, calm but curious. Andrew stepped away from the altar and walked straight toward Daniel. His voice shook as he spoke again. "You don't remember me, but you changed my life." Years earlier, Andrew had been a reckless junior manager at Evelyn's company. Arrogant. Careless. On the verge of being fired after a costly mistake. Instead of humiliating Andrew, Daniel took responsibility publicly and corrected the mistake privately. He stayed late, trained Andrew, and taught him leadership, not through orders, but through example. Daniel once told him, "Real power is protecting people, not crushing them." Andrew grew. He learned humility. He earned promotions. Eventually, he left to build his own successful career, but he never forgot the men who saved him. Standing there at the wedding, Andrew turned to the guests and said, "This man is the reason I'm standing here today. He was my boss in every way that mattered." Silence followed. Then tears. Then applause. Daniel's eyes filled with emotion. He tried to speak but couldn't. Evelyn stepped forward and placed a hand on Daniel's shoulder. "Kindness doesn't need a title," she said softly. "But it always leaves a legacy." After the ceremony, guests approached Daniel with respect, not curiosity. Noah looked up at his father with pride. That day, Daniel realized something powerful, that every quiet act of kindness, every unseen sacrifice, had mattered more than he ever knew. And for everyone watching, it was a reminder: you never know who you're lifting when you choose kindness, or how far that kindness will travel. If this story touched your heart, remember, kindness doesn't need applause. It just needs action. One small choice can change a life, a future, or even a room full of strangers. This is Kindness Diaries. Until next time, keep spreading kindness, because it always comes back in ways you never expect.